to talk about on this episode of Habs Digest, as Montreal is officially there in that playoff spot once again. And if you want to see Montreal make the playoffs, hit the subscribe button, guys. We're less than 500 away from 19,000. We're going for 20,000 by the end of the season. It's going to be a close one, but if you guys want to stick along for the ride, be here for all the latest Habs news, this is the spot to be. Jesse, let's just talk about this game. Feel free to pause, take a look at the box score. There are so many directions we can go in this one. I don't even know where to start. How are you feeling after this, knowing that Montreal right now is 8-1-2 since the Four Nations break and are officially back in a playoff spot?
It's really starting to get real. The fact that they could be in this next postseason, that they're going to make it, like, again, having a couple spots in hand, like, this would just be absolutely wild. It's taken a little bit to kind of process, considering the ups and downs of the season, but we can absolutely do it. And how electric would that Bell Center be? How great would that be for the development of this team? It's nice, like, to really get that W. But, again, it comes down to that man of the hour, like Nick Suzuki. I had mentioned in the live yesterday, like, how important he knew that this game would be. And I just felt, Josh, like, with him being, like, a little bit more quiet in his previous game, like, at the pace he was going for, I was just saying, like, in the Boys in the Rock Richard chat, the inner circle of Habs, I was just like, Nick Suzuki's going to have something to say on this game by the time it's done. Like, just again, like, his leadership to kind of one-up Brady Tkachuk in this very important, matchup to get that game-winning goal, I think is just huge for him and also this organization.
It sends a message, right? It sends the message. The Senators fans were out in droves trying to drag the Habs down, every little thing that was going on. You saw them there. Look, Habs fans were like, listen, we're positive because unlike, look, I'm not going to crap on other fan bases, but we believed from the second the puck was dropped, the Habs were down 2-1 going into the third, and they won the game 6-3. I don't know how you can make a bigger statement than that. After a rough second period, the boys rallied, and you're right. Again, it's the captain, Nick Suzuki. Actually, surprisingly, Slav played 10 seconds more than him tonight, but Jesse, it was that double shift on the power play that they've been running recently. They don't even care. They're fighting for a playoff spot. Your best player, Nick Suzuki, Mr. 70 points in 67 games, was the guy that got you that eventual game-winning goal. But look, we can talk all about Nick Suzuki. There's other guys we got to mention as well. I want to give a quick shout-out. Look, we're going to watch Dvorak again. We'll talk about him in a second, but this Montembeault save that's coming up here, this right here, turning point of the game. Yes, I know Samuel Montembeault led in a weak one to Travis Hamonic a bit later, but that right there, Jesse, along with some other stops, like, not his best night, but he got the job done. He made saves when they mattered. After that soft one, he tightened right up, didn't allow anything else. He had, that soft one that jumped over his head that Amadio scored, and then that Hamonic one. But when it came down to it, he was solid in there with the net empty on the other end. He was great. And even though it's only an .880 save percentage, I think the quality of some of his saves maybe makes this an even better performance than it looks on paper.
For sure. And considering what a big game it was. And again, he was definitely the victim of a couple of bad bounces. Mm-hmm. Maybe there was that one that he wanted back. But for the large part, like, Samuel Montembeault gave us a great opportunity to be able to win this game. Again, that big right kick save with the glove, getting that Bell Center really early into it. I liked a lot of our defensive game as well. I will say that I haven't been hating, Mike Matheson's game of late. I've been saying blocking some shots, giving Monty some help there as well. So honorable mention to him there as well.
For sure. And honestly, look, the defensive game, I don't want to talk about that breakdown on that first Matheson goal because, at the end of the day, doesn't matter. The Habs won the game. We don't need to talk about that Savard Xhekaj pairing because it didn't work parts of this game. Montreal won anyway. It's fine. They're going to learn. They're going to move on. Another little guy, Lane Hutson, though, Jesse. Speaking of little guys, I didn't mean to say that way, but that's the other thing. We talked about this just yesterday. Arpin Basu wrote about it in his article. Again, this great article. Like, Lane Hutson needs to shoot more if he wants to be taken seriously. And again, Knight, honestly, right here, walking around Amadio through the defense, absolutely sniping it. He was even taking one-timers. Since he's been playing more right D, he's taken those one-timers from the point. He has been such a key piece to this team. Once again, just racking up a point. Feels like he's point per game every single game. His contribution, especially on the power play and these zone entries, like, he looks like an absolute veteran. He's contributing at the level of someone in their prime, and this dude's a rookie.
Yeah, outshining Jake's Anderson in this game is absolutely big. And again, like, I've been saying that it's like, I don't buy the fact that he doesn't really have too much of a shot. Like, I've been mentioning, like, just making that one move, getting into the slot, taking that shot, and Hutson was able to just do that tonight. Like, he's too slippery, right, where he's going to get to be able to get to the front of the net by that. I think it's just showing where he got in those situations a lot in the past, and then he's looking for some sort of cross seam type of pass. And I think the Montreal Canadiens, we're still kind of victim of that a little bit sometimes, where we're really right in front of the net and we just need to get it really on net and really capitalize on those opportunities there. But Lane Hutson, absolutely phenomenal. Like, just getting us such a huge goal when we really need it in that third period. Like, this team just coming up clutch right now, like, just absolutely unreal. And again, like, this is a big sign for him because this is building his confidence to do this more. We see his production already. He starts kind of unlocking that. He's going to take it to an even higher level.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what his actual prime looks like. Look, if this was his prime, I'd be happy, but there's even more of a ceiling to attain. But the big talk tonight, Jesse, is that third line. And look, we were talking about, I was saying this the whole, like, Josh Anderson, specifically, from the second the puck was dropped, this dude was ready to be physical. He was hustling after loose pucks. He was bodying like Thomas Chabot going to the corner. Josh Anderson's in behind. It's not going to be icing. Chabot kind of braces. Too bad. You can't brace for him. Josh Anderson was looking like a Ferrari tonight. That whole third line, Gallagher with 3 points. Christian Dvorak with his first ever 4-point game. It's his first 3-point game since 2022 when we did a video, if you guys remember it that long ago, if you're a true fan, on his hat trick versus the St. Louis Blues. But first ever 4-point game for Dvorak. He was unbelievable on that goal. Josh Anderson looking like the Ferrari Josh Anderson. Brendan Gallagher turning back the hands of Father Time. I
think we should maybe re-sign Dvorak after that 4-point game. Just kidding. But again, he was a big part of it. He definitely got help from Patrick Laine, knocking Omar's stick out of his hand on that blocker shot. Again, Laine had a very good game. We need to mention 5v5. And that's a big sign for this team having success going forward. Not, again, as we mentioned, it's a two-part process getting into the playoffs. It's getting the spot. Now it's about securing it. And Patrick Laine playing well like he did tonight is a big part of it. Josh Anderson, forechecking like he was tonight, big part of it. In fact, the forecheck was the key to success for the Montreal Canadiens today. And guess what? The Habs have a philosophy now. Like, this is a team where they have a structure where you know what you can expect from them night in, night out. We're starting to see this a couple nights now, right, Josh, where they're getting on their forecheck. Josh Anderson and company, Ferrari, and they're just making stuff happen there, obviously causing turnovers, creating havoc, really. And especially we saw that in that third period. Like, honestly, Josh, tonight, the Montreal Canadiens were the best team throughout the game. I know in the second period there that we kind of got behind the 8 ball, but to be honest, like, we were getting great opportunities. We just weren't getting on net enough. The Montreal Canadiens, I believe, through all 3 periods, there was 2 kind of bad bounces type of goals. And for me, that was really big for the Montreal Canadiens. They lost momentum, but they found a way to get it back at really those key moments. They didn't really dig them in too much. We know Newhook kind of kicking himself a little bit, but I mean, just like so many amazing things to really build off here in terms of, like, I think I'm just most excited about this team really having an identity in the forecheck, winning games by playing that way right now.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a style of play that, again, allows you to never really be out of a game. And, like, there's other ways to do that. But I mean, like, again, you go down goals. If you have that effort, that forecheck, like, other teams sometimes are going to be lackadaisical when they have a lead. You catch them off guard. Like, you never let up. Other teams, when they have a lead, Jesse, we saw this so much with Montreal over the past few years while this team was developing. When Montreal got a lead, they tended to play not to lose. Some teams still do that. Might be different come playoff time, but even still, that aggressive forechecking game, closing these gaps. Sorry again, Savard and Xhekaj. Close the gaps. Next time, please. But, like, closing these gaps, forcing the Senators to make quick decisions, like, that's how you get back into games and scrambles in front of the net. It was working for Montreal. And you know what? Another big point you said earlier, Brady Tkachuk, I know he's been playing probably with a little bit of an injury, but honestly, who isn't at this point in the year? He looked almost invisible tonight. Had some good plays. Stützle was maybe their best forward. Ridley Gregg was trying to get under people's skin. Dylan Cousins was getting knocked around. He was decent. I don't even know. All I know is Montreal won. We're in a playoff spot, and I'm pumped, and I hope you guys are pumped. So leave a comment down below, like, comment, subscribe. That'll do it for this episode. Cannot wait to see what's coming next. We got some important games coming up. New York losing, Detroit losing, Ottawa losing. Montreal's coming for third in the Atlantic, baby. You heard it here first. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.